Hi there. If you're looking for something to keep your toddler entertained and teach them at the same time, you can create a learning shelf. Let's start with an activity I put together to practice fine motor and color sorting with my son. I bought a few pieces of cork from AC Moore. It was about $2, and I took some markers, drew circles, and colored them in. I put the cork onto an empty shoebox because it makes it easier because the cork is pretty thin, and I don't want him to get hurt, even though I'll be right there the whole time. I set the cork out for my son, and he has to take a push pin and then push it into the matching color on the cork. I'm a big fan of the Safari tubes, but I really like to keep them organized. So I got this art bin from Joann's for about $8 using a coupon. You can separate the animals or objects into categories using the dividers, or keep them in the tubes. There's even a place for the flashcards. I pull out a few of the Safari tube pieces with the flashcards and then ask my son to match that to the pictures. He also uses them for pretend play as well. To work on language and vocabulary, I read a lot of books. My son and I go to the library every week. I try to choose books that he's interested in and that he can interact with. This book, called All Change Jobs, was great because my son had fun with the little pockets on the pages. And the little cardboard person can be a boy or a girl. The next book, called All Around Town, was a lot of fun too, because it practiced so many other skills we had been working on, like shapes, colors, patterns, and numbers. As you read the book, you can ask your child to find so many of the different things on each page. I got this container from Walmart to keep some of our flash puzzles, as I call them, organized. This one I got from JDA's Teachers Pay Teachers account. My son is only 2.5 years old, so I only put a few numbers out at a time for him, so it doesn't become too overwhelming. Anytime we do an activity, I try to partner that up with a book, and my son really liked this one, This Tree 1, 2, 3. Here's a vehicle puzzle that my son likes to play with, but it's not just a puzzle for him. He takes the pieces out and rolls them along the floor and then makes his own noises for them. I think Melissa and Doug puzzles are really nice, but they can get pretty expensive. I almost never buy them brand new. I check out Goodwills and yard sales and Facebook groups. You'd be surprised what you can find for kids very inexpensively once you start looking. To work on shapes, this is a puzzle I got from Learning Resources. I love that store. It was a clearance item, and I also love getting natural materials like wood for my son to play with when I'm able to. When my son first started using this puzzle, he just liked to touch the pieces and of course put them in his mouth. Then I outlined it with a marker to help him follow the right colors that went with each shape. We also use this puzzle with flashcards. My son is still very little, but we already teach him to pick up after himself, and we give him a few small chores, like cleaning up his chalk/whiteboard easel. After each use, he has to clean it and dry it off. For an art project, and because we're reading a lot about farm animals, we made a cow out of construction paper, googly eyes, and a popsicle stick. I stapled it because I wanted to make sure it would stay on there. We used tape for the grass, which I had on hand as a gift bag filler from the dollar store. These books are the ones that I partnered up with the Cow Art Project. My son also uses the Safari tube animals with this book. Anytime we can learn about animals, my son is a happy camper. This is another book that let my son interact with it. Worked his fine motor skills, just putting his finger into the book and having to push out those little slides. He really enjoyed it. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope this gave you a few ideas. Here's my son doing a few of the activities that I mentioned. Have a great day. Bye.